Hello, monsters around here, and welcome to Total War Warhammer 2, Mortal Empires, the Twisted and the Twilight, or rather some of it. So this is going to be a short campaign looking at some of the changes the Wood Elves have had. I can't show you anything that comes as content with the DLC. So if we fight any armies with DLC units in them, I can't do that. I can't hover over any of the unit cards, anything like that. So quite restricted, but we shouldn't run into that too much, I don't think. So generally we should be fine. But we're playing as Orion down here, and even Orion has had some changes. I know. So if we have a look at, I think some of these have been updated. So Orion gets upkeep reduction of cavalry units, leadership during forest battles, and it also has the special Wild Hunt event. And Orion himself gets a missile strength plus 5%, weapon strength plus 20% for Wild Rider units, and charge bonus plus 8 for Wild Rider units, plus an ability that I'm going to blank out because I don't know if I can show you that. So basically, just to be safe, rather safe than sorry. Good, good, right, so we start off with the Oak of Ages. Most Wood Elf factions do, but obviously it's currently at 0 health. We have not been watering this plant. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I managed to kill plastic plants. So Orion starts off with an interesting lineup, but he also starts off with some very friggin' expensive units, like this guy.
All hail Colonels.
All hail Colonels. But you do cost us 400 upkeep a turn, mate. I mean, that's a lot. And I'm not 100% sure you're worth it. I mean, you're strong. You're a shooty boy, not a melee boy.
I live to serve.
We might get rid of him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring...
Eternal Guardian.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you over here.
I will stop them.
Okay, good. And... oh, God, me too, mate. Me too. Right, we're going to kill these beastmen, because they're sat there. Because, you know, even though it's a short campaign, it's still got that new campaign battle smell. First battle of the campaign. We're outnumbered, but that's normal. These beastmen race ahead. We have the Deepwood Scouts and the Way Watchers, both quite expensive units to start off with, but they can fire 360 degrees and also fire on the move, which means they can basically just kite stuff, which is quite nice. Now there are some changes to the game, including that missile attacks will now phase through trees for the first, I think, 1.2 seconds of their flight, which means units stationed in a forest actually can fire out of it fairly reasonably, I want to say. Already the Wild Riders have made themselves a name, because they have just carved through these Chaos Warhounds that jump to Orion. Orion is unfortunately one of our tankier units, and as such he's going to be, well, tanking stuff. But not alone, as the Wild Riders sweep in against this Gore herd, doing a lot of damage, and then sweeping back out again, just giving these Chaos Warhounds the slip. So far, so good. And our Way Watcher is running away from a horde of Ungor and shooting back at them. Yeah, so he's going to be busy doing that. So basically, we're just kiting all of these units all over the place. It's all about keeping away from their units, hitting them when they're weak. So for example, over here the Wild Riders sweeping in just after a barrage from Orion, along with some Eternal Guard. And those Gauls are out of here. Wild Riders seen a new target. The Chaos Warhounds have returned, not for long though, as they get charged and driven off once again. Now, one of the nice changes here is you can actually see the value of what units have killed. So not just the kills, but also the damage dealt and the value of what damage they have dealt. Which means if you get like a unit which has killed one thing, but it happens to be, say, I don't know, Malekith, then that's going to be worth quite a lot more than, say, killing 300 Skaven slaves. So you can actually now see what value they've managed to... So we have a look at the Wild Riders here. They've actually managed to rack up almost 600 damage value. I mean, that's quite nice. If we have a look at Orion, 609. So far, so good. The Hawk Riders, on the other hand, only 234 because they've been picking off Ungor Raiders, which aren't really worth very much. However, the Wild Riders are just so useful. I mean, they've got 75 charge bonus, they've got Frenzy. They could just chase down pretty much everything. They're super fast as well. We've just been kiting the balls out of all of these poor beastmen. Eternal Guards sweeping in to help out Orion. Orion taking a little bit of damage there, but he has managed to rack up over 100 kills. And it looks like army losses now taking effect, and the beastmen are running for their lives. Ah, there we go. Ah, waff. Blood. I'm fairly sure the beastmen are Welsh. That looks Welsh to me. 18 losses. God, look at that micro. Hey? Yeah. Yeah, baby. I mean, yeah, my wrist is shattered. I'm riddled with arthritis, but I know that's fine. Right, we're going to kill the captives because that'll please the other Wood Elves. And basically, I need to get them on side. We've also got a Sword of Might, which is quite nice.
Destroy.
And now we can bop them. And stabby stabby.
Clear a path.
Now that should cheer these boys up. So if we have a look there, yep, military actions against the Red Hawk. Yep, good. That's going up to 10. I'm hoping we can get them on side. Now, Saulus, you didn't. I mean, the base weapon. I don't know. Base missile damage. I don't know. I just don't know if you're worth it. You're 400. You're quite expensive. I just think we're moving in a different direction. Get out. The Way Watchers as well. I'm like, okay, I'll keep them for the moment, but I'm dubious. I'm dubious. Right, Ryan, we're going to increase Orion's ever-reaching tendrils. That's what she said. And I quite like going for Growth of the Forest because growth is quite important to the Wood Elves because it's very, very slow. You can see we get plus 15 a turn at the moment, and we need to get 375 to get another growth, or a kindred in this case. So it's going to take quite a while to build that up. In the meantime, we're going to grab the Glade because it takes 8 turns. So the sooner we start upgrading it, the better. And then we're going to get the Grapevines because that gives us the most income. And that's going to basically use everything we've got. So, Moray Heg the Crone, we're going to give Campaign Line of Sight and Public Order. Can't get anything else, so we'll start with that. That will lead on to then Vol the Maker, which is going to increase income from resource and crafting buildings and increase our armor. Or we can go for Ilnin Hill, Lord of Destruction, which is going to give us more forest health and income from raising settlements. We can alternatively go for the Wisdom of the Eagle Lords, which is going to give us bonus to Great Eagles, but also give us line of sight over all magical forest regions. Now, this does come with a warning. Beware, this will make distant foes aware of you, and yes, that is true. So you might end up with some of these factions, things like the Goblins over here, the Lizard Men as well, potentially then declaring war on you, which is not the best, to be honest. But, you know, generally it shouldn't really be a problem. Even if they declare war on you, what will usually happen is, and a few turns later, they'll go, do you want a peace treaty? Here's some money. So, you know, it can be quite lucrative.
You may keep your lying tongue for now.
Oh, thanks, Findle. Thanks. Can we have an non-aggression pact?
Ludicrous.
Oh, God, it's not ludicrous.
You need me?
Yes.
Keep your lying tongue.
Okay.
Ill-considered.
Not ill-considered. Right, well, hopefully, the fact we just beat up some beastmen should get them on side, I'm hoping. It's right. So that's going up to 5. That's not bad. 10 there. That's not bad. Durthu quite likes us, but we haven't met him yet. But that's fine. Right, so obviously we're going to have to heal up the Oak of Ages. And so far, if we have a look at the list of provinces that make up the heathland around the Oak of Ages, we can see that Carrick Buftar is giving us -1. And indeed down here we have Carrick Buftar, and it has been inhabited by these greenskins who are our enemies, and so obviously that's bad news. What we could potentially do is come down here, take that over, and then that would then start giving us some growth instead. However, it's often best to sort of not worry too much about... this is what I found. Not worry too much about the Oak of Ages to start off with, because it's going to take quite a while to get that up. I mean, you can go to any other of these forests and boost it up to 100 growth, and then do the rituals to get those bonuses. Athel Ren, that will take you to the first rank, and at that point you're losing 2 forest health a turn. So what I find is best is to just kind of like upgrade the Oak of Ages, because I have had trouble with some Beastmen factions just coming for the Oak of Ages and trying to burn it to the ground. Now, most of the time the garrison is more than enough to deal with them, but upgrading it obviously gives you more garrison, so I kind of feel like upgrading probably the best option. Plus, of course, as you upgrade, it'll give you the option to confederate with other factions, and that's quite useful. So the campaign can be a little bit on the slow side to start off, but once you've kind of got the Oak of Ages, it does kind of branch out. Yeah, that's a Wood Elf pun. And you get a lot of different options to sort of like go to different forests. Of course, from the get-go, you can always just jump. I mean, once turn 10, of course, you have the deep roots. You can jump straight over to like the Forest of Gloom over here and take that potentially. So that is an option. So we've got a quest here. So a dilemma or an invasion event. The Bray herds gather, responding to monstrous war cries of bloodthirsty beastlord. The braying horde of beastmen having spotted, slowly amassing at the edge of forest. There may be no rhyme or reason to them to congregate in such a manner, but their intentions are predictably destructive. It would be wise to bring them to battle before they can reach full strength and start attacking the glade. So, yes, we've got a little event here, and we can see if we hover over it 3 turns. So we have 3 turns to jump them before they become, before they spawn an army and come at us. So we're going to start recruiting. Unfortunately, we do not have an awful lot of money, so it's going to be a slow build-up. I'm really tempted to get rid of the Way Watchers, but they are very useful. I mean, see, the thing is, the Deepwood Scouts I prefer more than the Glade Guard, because although they cost more, they can fire while running away. And I think that's massively useful. So we don't need to worry about the invasion right away. As you can see, currently it's green. As soon as this turn's ended, it'll turn amber. And then the turn after that, it'll turn red. The turn after that, it'll spawn an army. So we've still got a couple of turns to build our forces up before we need to take them on. So there we go. We've got the grapes now, so we've got some extra income coming in. So we can recruit a few more units. There we go. And we've still got 1 turn. So we'll have a little army going, and then we can move in and take on these beastmen. So we've got the invasion imminent, just to warn us that there is an invasion about to happen. And if we have a look at the Oak of Ages, so interesting. So the invasion event doesn't count as an unresolved encounter. There we go. Learn something new every day. Okay, we've only got 10 units, which is not super great, but we're going to have to go with it. That's a lot more than 10 units. That's fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, everyone. We'll be fine. So this is going to be a tough battle because we're massively outnumbered. We're going to try and pick off these Chaos Spawn because I think they are probably going to be the nastier units. So we're just opening fire with everything we've got. We've got our archers at the back of the enemy line here. Orion is sort of trying to give them a little bit of distance. Chaos Spawn getting riddled there. I do love the fact that the sort of like the Wood Elf arrows sort of almost glow, so you can really see where they've landed. Chaos Spawn just soaking up so much damage. So we've got the Hawk Riders, the Wild Riders hidden in the trees, trying to see if we can jump these Ungor Raiders. Unfortunately, there's this unit of Ungor Herd here and Gore Herd, which are causing a little bit of trouble for us. The Chaos Spawn are finally going down. They are almost at the Glade Guard, but one more volley. Just one little Chaos Spawn. It's the little Chaos Spawn that no, he couldn't. He dies. No, sad. All right, well, they're out of here. And here come the Gore. Orion is tanking quite a lot of them, but we need to get our Eternal Guard in here to just kind of like hold them at bay and give our archers a bit of a fighting chance to kind of like get some fire in. Meanwhile, our Wild Riders have chased off a unit of Ungor Raiders and now sweeping back to come in and help Orion. They're actually fast enough, they should be able to stay out of range of these Ungor Raiders. So Eternal Guard have thrown themselves into the fray, taking away some of the heat from our missile units. You're staying just ahead. No, don't brace for impact, leg it. Now we're doing enough damage that the Ungor Spearmen are actually starting to waver. And actually these guys have decided to run back to engage Orion, which I'm kind of okay with now they're turning back. But that's going to give us a little bit of extra time just to whittle them down. Our Wild Riders do not want to stay in combat. They're going to get out there ASAP. Orion is just tanking everything. He's got 155 kills. That Beast Lord, though, could be a problem for him. Wild Riders getting a lovely charge into the back of this unit of Ungor, which is fighting our Eternal Guard. And they're going to start wavering. That's going to free up another unit of Eternal Guard. Here come a unit of Ungor Herd, though. So the Wild Riders turning around, charging straight at them. Doing... oh, Jesus. That's doing horrendous damage. Taking about, like, half a unit killed. And then sweeping back to slam into the rear of this Gore Herd. While the Eternal Guard that they've freed up now move in to tank that unit of Ungor Herd. Our missile unit's now free to help out Orion with his little blob, using his bombardment abilities on these Ungor Raiders, who are nicely grouped up there. Orion's almost free, thanks to the little bit of fire support. The Wild Riders up to over 200 kills. Have a look at how much they've got. Almost 900 damage value. They've caused 16,000 damage just by themselves. I need some more of these guys. They're so good, I'm like, you know what? Ungor Spear? Who cares? Jesus, that just sends them flying. Instantly breaks that unit. The Hawk Riders trying to pick off these Ungor Raiders to make this army easier to deal with after the battle. But I don't think it should be a problem. Oh, look at that. Kite Master 3000. Only 115 lost. And a lot of dead beastmen. I'm going to take the replenishment because that army needs to be dealt with.
I bring pain.
Glad I didn't let him get out to full power. That would have been quite nasty. That would have been very nasty. Never mind. You know what I need? I need more Wild Riders, because those boys... oh, just... I mean, 75 charge bonus is pretty good. I'm just going to go Growth of the Forest. Let's grow this baby. There we go. See, now we're getting some growth. Yeah. Now, if I wait 3 more turns, I could potentially get some more income. However, what I really want, what I really want, is to zig-a-zig art. But I also want some more cavalry. So we could get the Glade Riders. Those aren't Wild Riders. We can only get them at rank 3. We can get them with shields if we have the Azray Armory. We can get Sisters of the Thorn. That would be quite nice. All of the cavalry. I mean, the Glade Riders aren't bad. I mean, they're not Wild Riders, but you know,
Master of the Wild.
we could go with it, can we? We could go with it. The other option is maybe we could go for... Now, the guard platform would be quite nice, simply because it reduces upkeep. You know what, I'm gonna grab the guard platform. Does the guard platform Right, the first rank doesn't take any growth. So we'll grab that to start off with, because we can't get any of the buildings that I want until we upgrade the glade anyway. So we may as well just reduce our upkeep in general. So we got our tech, and we have been doing some nasty things to Beastmen, so hopefully these guys...
Granted access to the halls of
Hello.
Not possible.
Oh, go on.
Lord of Athelor, you have been granted access to the hall. Ill-judged.
Oh god, you guys are the worst.
I thirst for the hunt.
Okay, let's just hold up there for the moment. Now these guys are recruiting.
The forest calls.
Ideally, I'd like to deal with that. I mean, glade guards are fine and fairly cheap, so we'll grab some of them. I'm going to get Vol the Maker, because income from resource and crafting buildings... I don't... No, that does include the wine building, doesn't it? So, I mean, just more income. So we constructed the guard platform, we got some more lads. The growth is going down, basically. We've managed to boost it up a little bit, but it's not going to stay there. It's going to slowly climb back down, which is why I'm not too worried about the Oak of Ages. What I would like to do is potentially try and get the upgrade. Simply because the extra growth and public order, and also forest health per turn, is just quite nice. You can't go wrong with that. Plus it gives more garrison, so, I mean...
Orion!
I'm just going to keep saving. Okay, let's see if these guys are any...
To the halls of Athelor.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Trade agreement and military access. Okay. What a... Right.
Imprudent.
No, well, okay, hang on. What about a non-aggression pact and a trade agreement, and you give me some money? No.
Ill-considered.
God. When will they put the Three Kingdoms diplomacy in? Oh, God, right, 300.
Futile.
Oh, all right, well, fine then. A non-aggression pact and a trade agreement, and screw you.
It shall be done.
God, you're such a knob.
Lord of the Glade, you have been granted safe passage.
Yeah, I know. Give me the bloody...
I shall comply.
goods. Okay, that's going to give us a little bit more extra income, which is most welcome. Well, no, actually, at the moment, Orion, I'm just sort of like, you know, kick back, put your hooves up. No worries. They want us to raise or sack Carrick Bufter. Well, I mean, I'd like to. I would like to. Yeah, see, that's ticking down. But we do, you know, we've now got some agreements with our fellow Wood Elves, so that's making them happier, which is nice. Ideally, I would like military access, because that, if we get any events in their territory, then basically I want to be able to mooch over there without upsetting them. I'm traipsing through their daisies. But we've also got the offices. I don't know if we've looked at this. I think these have been updated. I haven't played the Wood Elves in God, it's so long. But so every 10 turns, we enter the Wild Hunt, and during that time, we basically get extra bonuses, as do all of our officers. So, for example, if we pop the Talon of Kurnos, so pop one of our generals in there, he will get an increased missile strength and reduction in enemy leadership. And during the Wild Hunt, the effects will be doubled. So he'll get 50% missile strength, and it will be minus 10 enemy leadership. And same with all of these, which is, you know, quite nice. I mean, personally, I would go with this guy, because minus 20% for all cavalry, super nice. That'd be quite good. Charge bonus for Treekin? I don't think Treekin have that much charge bonus, but, you know, it's better than nothing, isn't it? It's better than nothing. To the Red Horn tribe, dead. I mean, that is good, because it takes a little bit of pressure off us, because the Beastmen, they do seem to like the Oak of Ages, or don't like it. Either way, they tend to like congregate and head this way. And so we've got a whisper in the wood, a rumour of a possible threat to the world routes has emerged in the region. There appears to be no immediate danger. So this is not an invasion. It won't go from amber to red and then spawn an army. It just exists and will do. Now, while it does exist, it will reduce the forest health, so we have an unresolved encounter there. Obviously not too much of a problem, because we have no health.
King in the woods.
We have no health. Never mind. I'm going to... Now, extra growth would be good, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Public order? Elven trinkets do bring in a lot of money. I do want more money. But the growth. But money. I think we're going... I mean, we've got some trade partners, so we'll go the money, I think. We do have a special building here, which is going to increase public order. It's also going to increase the melee attack and melee defense of Wildwood Rangers, all armies. So that's quite nice. Nice little faction bonus. Each of the glades in Athel Loren has one of those buildings. So that's going to increase, give benefits basically faction-wide. And then each of the satellite forests also has a special building, which I think is slightly more powerful. It gives you more bonuses, but you can only build it after you have done the Ritual of Rebirth. So you basically need to cap the forest before you can build that building. It's one of the rewards, basically.
Protector of the oak.
So I'm going to build that there. I think I'm going to get a muster stone. I think I'm going to do that. And I'm going to upgrade to Trickster's Gallery. Now that is going to use all of our money. But I think having options is good. So we go, the Wild Hunt begins. Orion, King of the Woods and Master of the Wild Hunt, is reborn anew on the eve of the vernal equinox. The elite Wild Riders select a candidate to bear the mantle of the immortal Elven King for the year ahead. Now the Queen Ariel has done her secret work, Orion storms back into the world once more. As ever, he immediately calls the Wild Hunt to clear the forest of undesirable outside. Typical man, isn't he? He's finally let out for once. What does he do? Calls a fucking Wild Hunt. The herald of the hunt sounds the horn, signaling the elves and forest spirits to fight in Athel Loren's defence. A primal urge to expel the forest enemies that none can ignore. So all officers holders now receive additional effects from the Wild Hunt, and the deep woods are cleared. So we get a cooldown, -5 for deep roots teleportation, and the hunt is on. So all lords and the officers are stronger for 10 turns. Now after 10 turns, we then have 10 turns of no bonuses, and then 10 turns later we get more. So basically, it alternates every 10 turns. But quite nice all the same. So we've got a little bit more money. That's good. I do want to upgrade the Oak of Ages. What I do need to... Hi.
What do you want?
Well, I'd like military access, actually, if I could. But it turns, I don't think you're going to give it to me, are you? I don't think you're going to give it to me.
Lord of the Asray.
I mean, I could just hop up. Okay, let's just... Let's say, the start of the Orion and Durthu campaign is pretty chill. There's no real stress. You kind of just like build yourself up, and then once you're ready, you go out into the world and knock some heads together. So we've got Fallen Makers. That's going to give us a little bit more income. Excellent. Do like that. And we get a little bit more. Orion apparently is a builder. He spent his time in the Wild Hunt just putting things together, which is good of him. I could get an additional upkeep reduction, which does kind of that does sound good, but I'm not going to do it. So we do have, this is a unit that comes with the patch, which is the Glade Riders with spears. So this is sort of like an early cavalry unit for the Wood Elves. They're quite cheap. Fuck it, I'm going to get 3 of them. Fuck it. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me go. Look at me go. Missile resistance would be quite nice. That would be quite nice. Income from Grapevine building, though. Let's get Liadriel, Lady of the Mist, because that's going to give us a little bit of campaign movement range, evasion chance, and also diplomacy with Bretonia, which might...
I serve the Lady of the Lake.
Can I have a trade agreement?
If you desire it.
I do. Thank you. How kind. Okay, now I do want to knock out these orcs. It's just they're quite far away.
The forest calls.
They are quite far away. It's a bit of an issue. Shall we... Let's... I'm tempted... Alright, let's get some... Let's get a couple of war dancers. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to go and deal with this, I think. And we might even go and kill some orcs. And Scryer's doing things, which I don't... Is it spread... Is it plaguing stuff? Ugh. Ugh, rats. Okay, let's hop over there. Have we... Hello, Durthu. Can I have an aggression pact? See, Durthu Durthu knows where it's at. What a bro.
Lord of the Glade, welcome to the halls of Athelloren.
Findle is cranky as balls, as per usual. Findle and his bloody mountains
I
and
will not believe a word you say,
Daith.
but speak anyway.
Daith gave that ruddy great sword to Durthu, and frankly, I don't think giving a very angry tree man a giant sword is that's not a good shout. Okay, we've got another potential threat just down there. No immediate danger, so that's just a dilemma. Right, this is going to annoy Findle, but fuck him. So we got greenskins. Orcs are a frequent nuisance on Athelloren's mountainous eastern border. Your spies have spotted a warband entering the forest. This band, however, it's a ragtag affair. They could easily be misled into leaving the forest without a fight, but the tree spirits want blood. So we can leave the greenskins, and that'll give unhappy tree spirits. But it'll also give us diplomatic relations with greenskins and heal the forest. Alternatively, we can kick the shit out of them. That'll annoy the greenskins, but it will give us extra public order and growth. I mean, it's an obvious answer, isn't it? Of course we're going to jump them. Another quite nasty army to deal with. Fortunately, we've got some better units now. We need to take out these Nottingham pump wagons, though, because those things are horrible to deal with. Now, they've not lost any entities in the unit, but they have lost most of their health. Looks like Orion is tanking a bunch of goblin wolf riders. Our archers just pulling back just in case, but our Eternal Guard tanking quite nicely. Our cavalry now sweeping in. We've got the Glade riders. They're not wild riders, but you know they're better than nothing. And now we've got the war dancers getting mauled by giant spiders, but the wild riders sweeping in to help out, and those spider riders are going to get absolutely wrecked. Meanwhile, our Glade Guards are trying to charge in and engage. Now, these Savage Orc Ball Boys actually going to be quite nasty. I hadn't really reckoned on how nasty they would be. I should have kept my Wild Riders in combat with them because the Savage Orcs hadn't managed to get a charge off, and we're actually doing a lot of damage to them here. When the Savage Orcs don't get a charge off, it's fine. When they do, it's a problem. So War Dancers should be more than a match for Goblins. So they're going to sweep in. Glade Riders coming in for another charge, knocking Orc Biggins all over the place, but the Orc Biggins just have a lot of health. And while we're doing a lot of damage to them, if we actually have a look at the... So they're doing quite a lot of damage. But as soon as that charge bonus wears off, the Glade Riders just get chopped to pieces by that anti-large. The Glade Riders probably would be better off fighting other things than the Orc Biggins, to be honest. Our Wild Riders sweeping in, trying to get a little double charge in on the Orc Biggins. It does do a lot of damage. We get a lot of damage done there. Those Orc Biggins absolutely pounded. But then Savage Orc Ball Boys coming in from behind. I counter charge, but the battle does not go our way as the charge bonus from the Savage Orc Ball Boys really does make a mess of our Wild Riders. They back away, but the Wild Riders are going to fall back. Orion using his Hound's ability to do a lot of damage to these Orc Biggins, and I think actually that our War Dancers are doing quite well. However, our missile units whittling down some units that have rallied back to the fight, and this is where the strength of the Wood Elves are. Their missile units just tearing through these orcs, causing enough damage to make them flee, which then causes a knock-on effect. And there we go, the entire army is running away just as well, because our Wild Riders took an absolute beating there. But there's still enough of them to sweep in to finish off pretty much everything else. Sweet, sweet revenge. Okay, not bad. Losses were acceptable. And I'm going to kill the captives. Because that shirts. Now, unfortunately, because we underweight, world rooted. What's it? World roots, yeah. Because we're world rooted, we won't be able to follow them up. But they're taking attrition damage. Because they're in Athel-Loren.
I thirst for the hunt.
And Orion has leveled up. So we're going to pop that in. I am tempted to go, well, obviously base missile damage. He doesn't thing is, he doesn't well, I was going to say he doesn't hang out with the missile units all that much, but that's mostly because he's one of the tankier units I actually have, so I have to kind of let him tank stuff. So I could potentially give him more base missile damage. Or make him go more melee attack. What do we think? I just don't know. I mean, we could maybe go for lightning strike. I mean, quartermaster, hoe him on the back. I mean, that, you know, upkeep reduction would be probably quite useful. Do we want to go that first? You know, I'm going to go missile damage. I'm going to go missile damage, and I'm going to try and make him hang out with the missile units more often. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so far so good. I mean, we haven't got any growth. Well, we do have a little bit of growth because we just resolved an encounter, but it's going to go down. And we do need to do this event down here as well. These greenskins ideally need to die. And although we've trespassed on Findle's flower beds, I think the fact that we've just killed a bunch of greenskins should kind of fix that, or at least keep it neutral with any luck. Okay, well, there we go. So next time I'm hoping that we can maybe upgrade the Oak of Ages and then potentially go and look at expanding somewhere else. Where to, though? Options. But that will have to wait until next time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.